What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Blaque Keyz is a rising hip-hop artist who rolls with D.W.I.N.Y and the Beautiful Mind Band. He's gifted on the microphone and well on his way to having a great career. While he has a mixtape out from 2015, HeistBox is his debut album that was just recently released. You can get it on BlaqueKeyz.com, and he wrote a letter to all the fans slash potential listeners, so you can read that, scroll down, and pay what you want for the album. If you want it for free, get it for free. If you want to throw him some money, I would highly recommend checking out some of his music on YouTube first, so you get a feel and then go into the album. With HeistBox, it feels like a debut album, a proper introduction to who Blaque Keyz is, what he's gone through, and what he can offer you as a listener. Listening to this album, you're going to be impressed, you're going to tear up, and you're just going to feel overall connected to Blaque Keyz, and I think that's an important aspect. You have to be able to connect with your listeners. Now let's get into some of my favorite songs, starting off with Family Matters. This is a personal tale, and it's going to be hard to stomach because halfway through the song, he recreates one of the worst events in anybody's life. Nobody wants to experience this. He comes home and he finds out that his mother has overdosed. That's something that nobody should ever have to experience. And even harder, I couldn't even imagine how difficult it was to kind of recreate the moment, because he's not rapping about it on this record, or at least he's not rapping in this particular part. It's like a skit within the song. So he's actually coming home, walking in, and it just, you're going to feel it. It's one of the roughest moments on the entire album. The song also takes a look at his alcohol abuse and why it happened. I think this song and the entire album pretty much explains it, and you can't blame Blaque Keyz for wanting to escape reality, considering everything that he's gone through. And with Family Matters, you're really only scratching the surface. There's another record I'm going to talk about in a moment that goes even deeper than this. Before we get to that record though, let's talk about how the album is not all about struggle. There's a record on here called D.W.I.N.Y, which stands for Down When I Need You. It's a record for the fans. For the fans that have been there from the lows to the highs. Not just the fans that are there for the highlights and all the success stories. No, this is a record dedicated to everybody who's been down with Keyz since the very beginning. I love any artist that takes the time to show that he values his fans, because realistically you can't get anywhere in music as an artist without fans, and so you should never neglect them. A lot of artists say that they appreciate their fans, but I think Blaque Keyz goes the extra mile and shows them on this record and whenever he's on tour. I've seen him several times in concert. I've seen him meeting up with fans. He even has a second phone and a number that you can text him and call him, and he responds to fans like all the time. So it's little things like that that add up to the victories that make me want to see someone like Blaque Keyz win. Speaking of Blaque Keyz being on tour, if you caught D.W.I.N.Y on his recent tour for The Human Condition, you probably seen Blaque Keyz open up. One of his things was doing an acapella, and the acapella bars that were him performing on stage show up on this album in the form of the HeistBox outro. In my opinion, the album really comes full circle at this moment, because he tells you the sad story behind the album title. The album title, HeistBox, was his brother's gamer's tag name, and his brother committed suicide earlier in the year. So you have just a lot of emotions that go into this record, not to mention when we were talking about his mother overdosing, and also he talks about how his dad is locked up until 2030. So there's been a lot that went on in his life. He remains optimistic. The last words on the album from this intro are, "Was drowning in the darkness, music literally saved me, and it's crazy because it happened exactly as I expected." I love when you just end on like the perfect note. And when I first caught those lyrics, I was like, I went and quoted them on Twitter, and it's been running through my mind nonstop, because it's just like the most optimistic approach to end the project on. Predicting Blaque Keyz' 2017 is easy. He's going to be successful. To what extent is the question. I think that will be fun to watch and see him grow as an artist for 2017. See him continue to go on the road and see him continue to just make an impact in hip-hop. I like that if you're not already a fan, if you haven't seen him in concert, you haven't heard him on a Jon Bellion record, you could pick this album up and become a fan. Like with some artists, you have to research. You have to Google them to find out their story. No, Blaque Keyz puts it all on record for you to understand, to connect with, and just to enjoy. I think I wanted to highlight those two records, Family Matters and the outro, because they connected to me. I felt them. But that's not all the album has to offer. There's some love stories on here, both good and bad. There's him just going in, spitting, and killing it. So there's a lot on this album that I didn't even talk about. I highly suggest you check out HeistBox. Go to BlaqueKeyz.com. And then let me know what you think about the album in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.